waliwo ebbaluwa Uganda gye yawandiika ng'ewa ICC obuyinza ng'esaba ICC ebayambe okubanga basobola okufuna Joseph Kony kubanga baali balemereddwa mu busobozi bwabwe nga Uganda okufuna Joseph Kony. Kati ebbaluwa gye baakozesa issuinga arrest warrants ezo okuba nti bamukwata, but okuva mu kiseera ekyo kyonna paka kati era bakyamunoonya tebamukwatanga. Kati nga bwe kimanyiddwa buli omu nti Joseph Kony yavunaanyizibwa emisango mingi naye bukyanga bamuvunaana tebamukwatanga. Kati ICC yagenda ne issuinga warrants of arrest basobole okuba nga bamukwata naye tebamukwatanga okuva ebbanga eryo lyonna lye bamuteekako ezo arrest warrants. Kati ffe nga bannamateeka be twaweebwa obuyinza ICC court okuba nti tumuwolereza nawankubadde taliiwo. Ennaku z'omwezi 9 waliwo kye bayita confirmation of charges. Confirmation of charges kitegeeza nti kwegamba si kuwulirwa kwa nkomekeredde naye kuwulirwa kwa kugezaako kumusomera misango na kugirambulula na kuleetayo obujulizi obulaga nti okusinziira ku bujulizi obuliwo ateekeddwa okuvunaanyizibwa. Okitegeera? So after that oluvannyuma lw'ezo confirmation charges singa kooti esanga nti ebyo obujulizi obuliwo bumala okumuteeka ku trial, then kooti ejagenda mu maaso ekole trial. Naye nga bwe kiri kati ne bwe banaaba nga bakonfaminze charges ezo taliiwo, kooti tesobola genda mu maaso okuvunaana muntu ataliiwo. Era tukiwakanya kubanga tetukkiriziganya nakyo nti kooti esaanidde okuvunaana omuntu ataliiwo. Tumanyi bulungi nti kyandibadde kirungi omuntu okuvunaanyizibwa nga bw'ali kubanga era amateeka bwe gatyo bwe galagira. Toyinza kuvunaana muntu ataliiwo aneewolerezaako atya. Y'ensonga lwaki naffe tetulina kinene nnyo kyakwewolerezaako kubanga tetumanyi ki kye yandiyagadde kukola kwogera. Ensonga eyo twali tugezaako kulemesa kooti kugenda mu maaso na zino confirmation charges ze tugenda okugendako nga 9. Y'ensonga lwaki twagenda wansi mu bantu beeyo abaali affected okukola okufuna ebirowoozo byabwe n'ebiteeso byabwe kubanga ebikolobero ebisinga byakolebwa eyo. Twagezako okufuna enteesa ebirowoozo byabwe ne tubizaayo era eri mu biwandiike kooti esobole okutegeera nti kino ekintu kye baagala okukola si kirungi ate abantu beeyo bayinza okuba nga tebakiwagira.
This session is an excellent opportunity to deepen our understanding, your understanding of the judicial process and what lies ahead. We anticipate it will last about 1 hour, and after the presentation of the team, there will be an opportunity for you to interact and ask questions. With that, I now invite the defense team to take the floor and start their presence and visibility of the proceedings, foster a better understanding of international justice processes, and ensure objective media reporting. We are pleased to have Mr. Kony's defense team with us today, consisting of Mr. Peter Haynes, Kate Gibson, Christopher Gosnell, and Lillian Atim. They will provide you valuable insights into their roles and responsibilities, offer a brief history of the case, and highlight the concrete actions and progress made since their appointment. They will also clarify what a confirmation of charges entails and what it does not. This session is an excellent opportunity to deepen our understanding, your understanding of the judicial process and what lies ahead. We anticipate it will last about 1 hour, and after the presentation of the team, there will be an opportunity for you to interact and ask questions. With that, I now invite the defense team to take the floor and start their presentations.
The communities that we spoke with in the North thought that it was a good idea, because that overwhelmingly was not what we were told. And so we took a lot of time to sit down with religious leaders from across the different faiths, and we sat down with the political leaders in the North. We sat down with the traditional leaders, and we met with victims groups, victims council, and we took written statements from them detailing what they thought about the ICC's involvement in this case. And I would really invite you to have a look at all these statements, which we filed publicly. And you can find our filing on the ICC website. Its reference number is 583 in the case, and it was filed on the 3rd of April 2025. And in that filing, we set out the real concerns that we heard from people in the North. And these concerns include that they're worried that reigniting this case against Joseph Kony will prove difficult for the community, who has worked so hard to reconcile amongst themselves. We heard a lot of people tell us that they would prefer that the ICC instead concentrated on making sure that the reparations that have been promised in the Ongwen case has been paid, rather than moving towards a new hearing in the Kony case. We heard people who told us that they would prefer rather than Joseph Kony being moved against at the ICC, that he should return to Uganda and engage in traditional justice processes like Mato Put in the North. None of these positions come from us. All we tried to do was collect the information that we were learning, and so privileged to learn in the North, and put it in written form and submit it to the judges. So if you see this filing on the ICC website, you will see that we are not saying that this is a good idea, that we are not saying that the court should or should not engage. What we've done is we've asked the judges to consider more deeply the views of the people in northern Uganda, because they are the ones who should have the right to decide how this story ends. We know that it started in January 2004 with the referral of the case to the ICC, but it must be for the people of Uganda, and in particularly the victims in the North, to decide how they want it to finish. So we saw that as our job, as really expending our energy to collect all these views and then present them to the court. And I was asked, whose decision is it? Ultimately, now that the ICC is seized, it's a decision for the ICC judges. But if you tune in on the 9th of September, we will certainly be re-emphasising that we believe the court should be listening more to the communities in the North about what justice looks like to them and what justice means for them. Eight.
And they're not all lawyers, yeah. There are support staff, people who manage the case. It's an enormous case. The answer to your question is, I think we have it from the highest authority that if in 2025 Joseph Kony were to be arrested in Uganda or returned to Uganda, he would face justice here. Without being too explicit, I think we have received that assurance from the highest possible authority. The other point I wanted to make, and a lady down there asked about victims, and this goes to something Chris said. The ICC case is really very, very limited. It concerns 6 crime sites. I think within the investigative files that were handed over, it comprises 8 files from the Ugandan investigators. They hold 800 files against Joseph Kony. So it's a very small percentage of the things he has said to have done. And the ICC cannot try him for the others because they happened before 2002, or they concern crimes such as terrorism, which are not within the ICC's jurisdiction. So one of the reasons that I think people in the North are concerned about this process is because it's divisive. Only the people who are victims of those files that are before the ICC, if ever it came to trial, which it probably won't, will receive compensation. None of the people who were victims of crimes between 1988 and 2002 will be covered by that. And so it will, in the community in the North, be divisive, because there will be those who are lucky and those who are not. So I just wanted to mention that because somebody down there mentioned the question of victims.
Anthony, another?
Well, our principal lawyer in the North was part of the Thomas Quayle team, so I think that there would be no better candidate for understanding the LRA crimes in the North, and he has been extremely useful to us. There's another consultant we have who's been extremely useful in putting us in touch with both victims and attorneys so that we understand both sides of the conflict as we go forward. Sorry? Is that the name? No. His name's Anyuro.
Mr. Haynes, it's not for me, it's not us. But I'm intrigued to know what is your main contention as police defense lawyers of the name?
I couldn't hear you, I'm afraid.
What's our main contention?
Main contention.
Oh, our main contention.
What would your argument for the name?
You'll forgive me, I don't think it is appropriate for us in a press conference to reveal defence strategy.
You'll follow the proceedings.
The cultural aspect of representing somebody who is African, who is Ugandan, who is a Chole, we have covered in this team. We have 3 Ugandan members of the team, which is a significant proportion. But just understanding somebody's cultural background or the cultural background of the community in which these offences were committed is not the be-all and end-all. You need to know how to do a case at the ICC. You need to understand the law, you need to understand the tactics of conducting a large case. And in my experience, and in Kate's experience, and in Chris's experience, the best way of doing that is having a multicultural team, a team which can, if you like, have attack, midfield and defence. And I think we have within this team the right balance of those who understand the local community and those who understand the process at the International Criminal Court. I think I've said this before, I'm not here to defend my own selection. There were 80 odd other people who applied for this job. I happened to get it. And I'm aware that other people were upset, not just African lawyers. American lawyers were upset about it, French lawyers were upset about it, because they all thought they should have got the job too. It's not my fault I got it. But in my view, I think we've assembled a team which covers all the bases. The lady in the red, you're still making the same mistake. How many times did you talk about trying Joseph Kony? We're not trying Joseph Kony. We are confirming the charges against him, and that is all. And I think that's really important to bear in mind. It also goes to the first question as to whether you need a cultural aspect when you're going through what is such a dry technical exercise. You're confirming what's written on paper. Does this amount to things? Now, the question about instructions, yes, it's really difficult. We have been put in a situation, of course, I volunteered for it and I got it, but we've been put in a situation, literally, that no lawyers have ever been in before. So what do? Do we say, oh, our codes of conduct make this very difficult, so we'll walk away? No. What we will do, and the lady who asked that question I think is behind the cameras, what we will do at the confirmation of charges hearing is act like lawyers. We will put the challenge to the confirmation of charges that is legal, but what it will not be based on the assertions of our client that he wasn't there, that he didn't do this, that he didn't order this, because we don't know whether that's what he would tell us. And that's really difficult. He might actually tell us, you know, I'm sure you've all thought this, he might actually tell us, I did all this, I'd like to plead guilty. And so actually advancing a positive defence on his behalf that we've invented would be quite wrong, because we would be prejudicing his position, and that would be a breach of our codes of conduct. So acting within our codes of conduct, we will present legal arguments at the confirmation of charges hearing, because that is all we've got to do. Everybody at the ICC is paid. Maria's paid. You don't ask her salary, so I'll give you a short answer to that question. Mind your own business. Now, I think I've dealt with everything apart from the question that was directed to Kate, which I think was based on a misconception, but